Welcome to your Photon trading dashboard. So this is on Notion. Notion is an amazing piece of software. If you haven't already been using it, or if you don't have an account before, I should drop a link in the notes below the video for you to sign up. It's completely free. I would highly recommend it. It's super powerful. Once you have your account all set up, if you then click on the other link that will be below in the notes below, you will be able to download your own copy of this dashboard. You'll see up in the top right there'll probably be a button that says duplicate, and then you can copy this in into your own Notion account. Okay, so essentially this trading dashboard is pretty much where you can run almost the whole kind of admin side of your entire trading business from here. So it's kind of a few moving parts to this. Now at this stage of your journey in the program, you're only really going to be needing to use this for sort of two things. One being setting your goals, tracking your progress, right, structuring your days, everything that we just spoke about in the previous lesson, but then also somewhere where you can keep and collate all of your notes as you go through the course. Now, all of the other sections in here, mainly these three sections here, is something that we'll cover obviously in a lot more depth later on in the course. For now, when you click into these, at the time of this recording, there won't be anything behind these folders basically. So when I click into here, right, there's nothing there. As we're gonna build those later on in the course when you get to that section in the video, and basically under those videos there will be a link for you to download the information and the things that will be useful for you to use within these sections here. So for now, these are essentially dead sections that you don't need to kind of worry or concern yourself with. The main two sections are one over here under resources, where you can have your course notes. So at the time of this recording, these are the only modules that are currently live. So that's what, if you go in here, I've just left it empty, so you can kind of structure your notes how you want. But this is where I'd recommend you kind of put everything in there as you go along, and you can structure it how you want to. And then we go back to the dashboard. Also, there will be some course downloads that you will get, right, which will link up to your Google Drives. You'll see that in a bit, and you can chuck those links in here just so they're all kept in one place. And then the other main area here is your goals. So if we click into sort of goals for this year, right, this is everything we just spoke about in the previous lesson, so please make sure to watch that first if you haven't done already. So this is where you are going to pick your three big goals for the year, right? If we're still in 2021, what you would want to achieve for the year. So imagine we're at the start of the year, right? Maybe the start of 2022, whatever. You guys can figure out how this works, right? Three big goals. Then we're going to split those three big goals into quarterly sprints, right? So for each quarter, you want to work out what is the three big goals I want to achieve in this quarterly sprint to get me one step closer to these big three annual goals, right? So you'll put those in there, obviously Q2, Q3, and Q4. Then if you're in Q1, you take those three big goals here and you go, right, I've got 3 months to achieve these big three goals. So what three actions can I take in each of these months to get me towards achieving these three goals, which again is going to lead you to achieving your annual goals, right? So hopefully you can see how this all breaks down from the start. Now at the start of the year, you don't necessarily have to plan out the entire year. Of course it can be useful, but probably as you go, right, you're gonna, some things are gonna get done quicker than others, or you're gonna figure out you need to do different things. So you can tweak this as you go, but at least make sure, I would say, you have a minimum of the entire quarter and those 3 months that you're currently in all laid out, and of course your three annual goals. Have at least the quarter that you were within and all those months laid out. So then what you're going to do is you're going to copy your annual goals, right? So you can just essentially do like this, right? And then you copy those, and you're going to go back out to your main dashboard, and then you're going to put them in here. So you're going to put whatever course you're in. You're going to put your current quarterly goals here, whatever your month you're in, right? Hopefully it's pretty self-explanatory. You put your monthly goals in here, and then what you do each week is you go, okay, for these 3 monthly goals, what do I need to do, right? 3 weekly milestones to achieve your monthly goals, so on and so forth. And then here, this is just a useful area to put in your key lessons that you learned from last month. These don't just have to be about your goals, but obviously later when you get into the course, this can be more about what you've been journaling, your major lessons that you've learned from your previous trades from the end of the month. So the reason why we also paste all of this here is just so it's always at the forefront of your mind. So every single morning or throughout the day and every single time just before you go to bed, this is what you're looking at, right? Right at the forefront of your mind. You're seeing it all the time. You know what you're working your way towards. You know what the bigger goal is, and you know what you need to do, what your mission is to get there, right? Trust me, it makes such a massive difference when you can see this right here. So We'll come back to this section in a minute. And then this essentially is how you lay out your week. So what you're going to do on Sunday at the start of the week is, you're going to have worked out, okay, what are the weekly milestones that I need to take to get me closer towards the monthly goal. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go into each day, right, today's targets, and you're going to write out those 3 tasks, those 3 high priority actions that you need to do to cross off your list, right? So you can tick that, and what it'll do, put a nice little pretty line through it, and that is you ticking off that for the day, right? And you're going to write those out for the entire week, right? Now, the way I've kind of planned this out is for each day, in the morning when you get up, the first thing you can do, right, is just list 3 things that you are grateful for. And this is just something that I find, loads of science backing this up, lots of people do this, but I just find it can really put you just in a good mood and in the right mindset to kick off your day, right? And then obviously doing 3 things just before you go to bed when you end your day that you are grateful for. Then you can also put in, when you're reviewing your day, right, the lessons that you have learned. Is there anything you could have done differently to make yourself procrastinate less? Could you have put your phone out the room, whatever it is. But then also you want to celebrate any wins that you had, what went well, right? So this is basically like, do more of what works, do less of what doesn't, keep reviewing, keep tweaking, keep improving your process. You're getting 1% better every single day. And then you would do that for the entire week, right? When you get to the entire week. Now, one thing I want to make clear here is what I was saying before in the previous lesson is the best goal setting strategies and all that fun jazz are the ones that are simple because they are most effective, but generally those work because you adhere to it and you keep doing it and you're consistent with it. So if you find, right, that all of this is just a bit much or unnecessary for you and it doesn't really do much for you, then literally get rid of this, right? Get rid of this, get rid of that, right? Maybe you want to even get rid of that, and all you want each day is just those 3 actions and that's it, right? Just keep it super, super simple. Delete all the stuff that you don't want. Just going to repopulate it for now so it's still there, right? Just make it work for you. Do whatever you think is going to give you the highest probability of you actually sticking to this and you're actually doing it. Because if this becomes a tedious task that you don't really want to do, then you're just not going to do any of it, and then you're back to square one. So hopefully I've kind of made the point there of make it as simple as you want, literally to just that, and at least have those things in there. Then you fill that throughout the week, right? One for the weekend as well. And then what you're going to do is come up here at the end of the week on Sunday or Saturday, right? And you're going to go into your weekly reviews. And this is where you're just going to very, very quickly and briefly do your weekly review. So I've just got one within here, right? You can just put a smiling emoji just to kind of sum up how the week went for you. And then you can just answer some of these questions. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy were you in this week? Put a number and a quick reason. Go look back through your daily completed tasks and go, what were your three big wins for the week? Review your goals you'll set out, right? Your quarterly, annual, monthly. Have a quick look at it all. See, am I where I need to be? Do I need to speed things up? Do I need to change my goals? Just keep figuring out, how you can do things better. What was the biggest lesson, right? So kind of what didn't really work so well last week, and how can I make sure that I learn from it for the week ahead? Right, so this is just you reflecting and reviewing your week, and then the second part of this is to write down your 3 big milestones, right, for next week to get nearer to those monthly, quarterly, and annual goals. And then basically a bit of a risk assessment here, right? Think ahead, right? Plan ahead. What might be coming up? Maybe you've got social commitments, maybe you've got meetings, X, Y, Z. What can you do to make sure that you're still gonna get those goals achieved no matter what? Does it mean on Tuesday and Wednesday you need to get up an hour earlier? Does it mean you need to skip something? Put that in there now, and that way you give your biggest best possible chance. And again, just like anything in here, if this is all unnecessary or some bits you don't want to do, like just literally maybe you only want to do one the biggest lesson you learned this week, and you want to get rid of all this crap, right? Let's say you don't want to do that, and then again from here you just want to keep the 3 milestones for the week ahead. That's fine. Okay, just make sure it's something that you're going to stick to. And then what you can do each week is you just click new, right, when you've got a new week, and then you come into here and then click the weekly planning and reflection template, and then that essentially will just, if you give it a few seconds to load, will essentially just populate another one, and then you put in your little smiley face or your sad face, however it went for you or however you perceived it to go for you, right? You just, obviously if it's a bad week, you haven't perceived the positives, right? And this is when you can start to reflect. Actually, no, I did have 3 big wins for the week. Like, it did go quite well, and yeah, some things went wrong, but now I've learned the lessons from them. Then you've neutralized that. Now you're back into a balanced and empowered state, right? You guys are probably going to get sick of me saying these things, but I really want to drill this philosophy into your subconscious because I really do believe how powerful it is. So that's kind of how you can use that weekly section, right? And then what's really interesting about this is if you kind of take the time and effort to do this, right, and you look back in this in a few months or maybe in a few years, you'll have this these rows and rows and rows of weekly reviews here. And at a glance, you can see all the different smiley faces. And I guarantee you, right, if you kind of compare and contrast this when you've got it all filled out compared to your trade journal, I have a pretty strong feeling, because I've seen this with myself and some other traders that I know, that when you've had your good weeks and everything went well, you stuck to your routines, you're ticking off your goals, your diet and your sleep was on track, look how it correlates with your trading results. I guarantee your trading results will be in direct correlation to all of this, right? This is so important. It's not just fluffy stuff filling out a journal just for the sake of it, just to try and look busy. This really has a direct effect on your trading performance and success. So yeah, that's pretty much the majority of what I want to say. Like I said, these 3 big sections will cover it in a lot more depth. Just at this point, I wanted you to have this dashboard and this tool now, so you can start to lay out your goals, right? Lay out all the content that you want to work with through, incorporate that 12-month roadmap into here, make it work for you, whatever way you want to do, and then please modify and edit this to make sure it's one that you're going to stick to. But I'll kind of leave it with this kind of larger format for you guys to use if you want to do it that way. And then every weekend, do your weekly reviews and fill that out. One of the things I'll say as well is this is your template here for your goals. So obviously, in this year, if you fill it all out, when you want to do another one for the following year, instead of having to kind of go in and delete it all, what you can simply do is just take your goals template, right? So that will always be blank. Don't fill in any of this. Always leave this one blank. And then what you would do is you would click here and you would click duplicate, and then it will give you another one. And then that's the one you can write, right? Goals 2025, or whatever year we're in right now. Okay, so always leave any templates blank. Yeah, put your course notes in there, downloads there, books here, right? You can keep track of any books you're reading, so you just add new ones, put a little image in there, and then you can write all your notes, learning points from you have from the books. That's kind of another little useful thing. And then yeah, here you can put in details of your broker, right? Your account numbers, passwords, blah 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 blah. Definitely have your contact emails in here. Risk contingency, right? We'll talk about this later, but if you get locked out from your broker, you've got positions running, you need to be a way to be able to contact them if your internet's gone down, and all that good stuff. Other thing as well, habit tracker here, right? Habits make such a massive difference, and this is kind of just a useful little thing where, again, delete half of these if you don't want them, change them to what you need and what works for you. But essentially this would be, right, during the week, I want to wake up every day at 5:30 a.m. London time, right, to be ready and prepared before the London session. Maybe you want to do 10 minutes of meditation. Then you're going to do your quick forecast for the day, right? Planning out your levels, setting your alerts. Maybe you want to go for a workout during lunch, do a little bit of reading. Then you're going to study some more content. Maybe you have a habit and a goal of having less than 1 hour total screen time on your phone, right? Then before you go to bed, you're going to do a forecast for the next day, and then you're going to make sure that your daily goals are planned for tomorrow, and you can tick off all of these habits, right? Obviously, not every single day, you're probably not going to be a robot, you probably are going to miss some, but this is, again, what's really useful, like I was saying about the weekly reviews, is you can even chuck that data, right? You can take a screenshot of this when you get to the end of the week and chuck it into your weekly review, and then, again, I guarantee you, when you look directly at your trading performance with your journal, it will correlate with this. Did you get up on time? Were you calm? Did you meditate? Did you plan? Were you planning ahead? Did you do a forecast? Or were you rolling out of bed at 7 in your pajamas, jumping onto the charts and just hopping into the first trade you see? Are you working out? Are you looking after your health? Are you keeping in peak performance? Are you studying enough content? Or are you distracted on Instagram on your phone? Are you planning the days out? Are you keeping the day structured? These all have such a huge impact on how well you will do. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You've got your vision board as well. Can't remember if I mentioned that, but essentially this is at the bottom, right? Again, you can obviously customize this as you want. I just chucked in a random image in here, right? And then that will show nicely here. So again, you're seeing that at the forefront of your mind. Just a nice little bit of motivation, right? Get a little bit of dopamine dropping in your brain each morning. Every time you look at this, just perks you up a little bit, right? To then focus on the task at hand. So put in here, write loads of details. The more detail, the better. And I'll leave that there for you. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up kind of how you can use this. Make sure you duplicate your own copy. As always, if you kind of make your own version of this, or you make some cool tweaks, please share it in the community. Others I'm sure would love to benefit from your ideas. Just as always, mold it into your own, make it work for you. Just adherence. It's so key that you find something that will work for you, that you keep doing, right? And that is what is going to give you the result. So yeah, I'll leave that there. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. And I'll see you in the next one.